6:50, your top stories for this Wednesday in our Smart Start here at Sunrise. One person is dead after getting hit by a car on 390 overnight northbound near the Lyle Avenue exit. That stretch of the expressway shut down for hours for the investigation. We can tell you the latest update from deputies. The scene has cleared. They still have yet to release any more specific details on what exactly happened leading up to this, who the victim is. They are, for now, asking any witnesses, people who were in the area when this happened, to please call 911. Rochester police are searching for suspects wanted for an armed robbery at this quick fill. That call came in just before 11 at the location at Culver Road and Norton Street. The suspects went inside the gas station, pulled out a handgun, and demanded money from the workers. They left with cash and items from the store. One employee was left with minor injuries. 4 people are displaced after their AC unit caught fire at a home in Rochester on Fieldwood Drive. Calls for that came in around 11:30 p.m. Crews say black smoke and flames were coming out of the back of the 2-story home when they got there. It took nearly 20 minutes to get everything under control with the help of 35 firefighters at the scene. No injuries reported, and the cause there, electric. There was a short, we're told, with the AC window unit. To another tornado confirmed in Canandaigua. We've been talking about the worst of the damage in neighborhoods, showing you some of that, and the cleanup is just getting back underway again. This is from storms 2 days ago, and this morning some families still don't have their power and AC back on. Aran Spitzer joins us live right there on the lakefront from the park. Aran.
Yeah, Brennan, we're here at Kershaw Park, where this crew arrived around 30 minutes ago, and cleanup is still very, very much underway. Though they are making headway here, there is still one tree left toppled over to the side. So it's safe to say that Canandaigua has had a busy 48 hours, or rather a year, for this city, from intense flooding back from this time last year to what has now been classified as an EF0 tornado touching down Monday night. Residents and city officials tell us with these events happening so close to each other, they're concerned about what could follow.
It was wicked scary, very traumatic, and the results of which is create a lot of anxiety every time we have any major other similar type activity in the area.
That's Maria Bucci and her husband, who have lived in Canandaigua for more than 20 years and have put nearly $35,000 back into her home within the last year to get it looking like it once did. Bucci is not the only one who's had to shell out the money for repairs. City of Canandaigua Mayor Bob Palumbo says between last year's floods and this year's storms, it's come at a price.
The trees, and we'll have to see about what we can do to plant new trees. So as far as the economic impact of what happened last night, is nowhere near what it was last year.
Here's an example of one of those old growth that is probably going to have to be replaced. Now, Mayor Palumbo did say that the city has applied for state and federal grants, as well as the county, to try and mitigate this damage and help people get back on their feet. Brennan, back to you.
Sound of chainsaws all day long. Aran, thank you from Canandaigua. Here in Monroe County, the Board of Ethics is currently reviewing the county's Office of Public Integrity's report, that investigative study into DA Sandra Doorley's traffic stop from April. Yesterday's meeting went straight into executive session, but we did learn a report from the Ethics Committee is in the works, and the chair of the committee, Jansen McNair, also leads the OPI. As we've previously reported, that group found Doorley violated multiple rules and regulations surrounding the use of county-issued vehicles. It also defines her behavior, as you see here in this body cam footage from the officer at her home in Webster, as abusive and rude. McNair describes their investigation and the steps looking into whether Doorley may have been intoxicated at the time this happened.
We talked to the Webster Police Department officers and asked them, using their experience, if they felt that she was intoxicated. Did they smell any alcohol on her breath? Was she staggering? Did they look at her eyes and her pupils? And based on all of those questions, we determined that she wasn't intoxicated on that date.
Doorley and her office have declined to offer any response on that report from the OPI. News 8, your local election headquarters tonight. Former President Trump's running mate just announced this week. J.D. Vance is going to be on stage speaking in Milwaukee at the Republican National Convention. Last night, we heard from several of Trump's primary challengers, some of the fiercest former GOP critics of him. They're now together in a united front in support of his candidacy. The likes of UN Ambassador Nikki Haley, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, among others, who flipped from campaign foes to committed Trump allies. Safety was the theme on day 2 of the RNC, with speakers addressing tougher anti-crime and immigration laws.
The country is less safe. But here's the good news. We can fix it.
Ted Cruz there speaking from Texas. Tonight, Vance addresses the convention crowd. Trump and his pick for VP after this in Milwaukee. They'll be off on the road for their first joint campaign rally together this weekend in Michigan. Happening today, the sentencing is coming down for the man from Webster who hit and killed a woman riding her bike on the side of Clem Road last year. This happened in August. 57-year-old Pamela Rubenstein was riding along the shoulder when 37-year-old Ryan LaDuca's car went off the road and slammed into her. The victim died at the hospital. LaDuca later pleaded guilty to leaving the scene of a deadly crash and tampering with evidence. He's due in court for that formal sentencing at 2. Also today, people can go pick up their pieces of art from the Rochester Contemporary Art Center's 6x6 exhibit for 2024. Nearly 5,500 pieces were on display this year, all in an effort to raise money for future projects there for ROCO. That art comes from everywhere. It's all sold anonymously. You only find out who did that work, maybe a celebrity, maybe just a local student, once you buy it and pick it up. Sunrise traffic here at 6:55. Final look at the roads this morning before your forecast. We are good to go, at least in terms of any heavy slowdowns, but you see on our camera a little different there. Just 5 minutes ago, James had some sunshine peeking into the clouds and a couple of raindrops making their way across the area.
A few sprinkles here and there. That'll be the case, I think, for the next couple hours, probably through about 10 or 11 a.m. Just a random light shower. Temperatures getting into the upper 70s, and here we go. Cold front moves through, and we look forward to a really nice stretch, really beginning tonight and then going into the next couple of days.
We'll be here tomorrow morning at sunrise talking about how nice it feels with the cooler temps in the morning. In the meantime, we'll see you back here in 30 minutes. CBS Mornings coming your way next.
Follow News 8 wherever you are on RochesterFirst.com, Facebook, Twitter, and on our app for news and weather.